Welcome, welcome. The First Tree is an indie game developed by David Well and ported to console now by Dio Software. The First Tree has a magnificent art style, atmospheric soundtrack, and an interesting way of storytelling. It's essentially a story that you work through with some platforming and puzzle-solving elements, but they are not the focus of the game. Now, the story will probably take you about 1.5 hours to 3 hours to complete, depending on how widely you walk the perimeter, go up the mountains, or just generally explore. I enjoyed my time exploring the dreamlike story of the First Tree and the uniqueness of telling a personal story of a son coming to terms with his father's passing away before he had a chance to spend more time with him. He's filled with regret, which leads him dreaming of a female fox searching for a lost cub after finding one dead on the ground. The dreamer wakes up to tell his wife about the dream and trying to find meaning in it, as well as making peace with the regret littering his young adult life. His wife tries to comfort him and also share some of her personal experiences. Through all this, as the story progresses, you are the fox walking in this beautiful, beautiful landscape, and there are these little helpful, they're like little Bethlehem star type things, like little light bulbs, to follow to find your missing cub. And these two stories, they may not seem that they can successfully relate, but the whole dream aspect of it and the coloring and landscape, it just makes it work. So, what drew me to this particular game? Why was I counting down the steps to its release day? Well, I have a lot of respect and interest in indie developers because it takes such a long time drafting a story, making it, programming it, and I have a lot of appreciation for the creative process. And then to get your game on, well, the First Tree was on Steam, and it being as well received so you can pay a console porting company to put it on different platforms like Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, I think that's really cool, and that is definitely what made me want to play this game in the first place. What first alerted me to it was the stunning visuals of it, and more so just being confused as to, okay, but what is the gameplay? Is it a narrative, or is it actually a puzzle platformer? And it was just intriguing, so that's why I wanted to give it a try. Now, let's talk about price point. It's a $15, well, Australian dollar game. Some people might think that's a bit steep if you think that, it is a less than 3-hour game. But I do think it is a worthy, well, talking about Switch now specifically, I think it's a really good game to have on the Switch because it can show off what the console can do. Like, it's just the most beautiful landscape to explore, and if you're at a friend's house and you guys have been playing party games and more intense style games, then it's nice if everyone sort of sits and chills with an individual game, say like, hey, try this game that I have on the Switch, it's really pretty and relaxing. It's also a nice game to play if you're tired at night and you can't go to sleep, just to have that dreamlike, soft spoken narration aspect of it. So I think it's a really beautiful game, and it tells quite a deep story, and I guess it also can give you some time to reflect if that's what you want, or you can just enjoy that it's quite a deep story to it. The one annoying thing that I found was controlling the fox. Now, I've never really played a lot of 3D platformer games, especially not like this. Let's just say the ratio of how the camera turns to the movement was a bit finicky. I recommend that when you play the game, definitely put the sensitivity high. So the darker colors sometimes also made it difficult to see the edge of the map and whether it was possible to go further or not. This didn't bother me too much because I actually enjoyed exploring as much as I could, as far as I could. It would have been nice towards the last quarter of the game to have more of those guiding lights, as it was a bit unclear in what sequence you need to do something to open a different area. Overall, I think it's a really lovely game, and I'm so happy that it's come to Switch. If you're still hesitant in getting it, maybe wait for those 33% off sales that Nintendo sometimes have, but yeah, definitely then pick it up. I hope you enjoyed my review of The First Tree. Make sure to leave us a like and subscribe if you haven't already to have more of an idea of the interesting games that we can now find on the Switch. Thank you so much for watching, and let the battle for the Crystal Badge begin.